Are we on? Oh, there we go. This new channel will bring news, reviews and Dalek builds to people across the country. Is that it? Can I go now? It's really tight in here. I need to take this suit off. Hello, and welcome back to Rexacoricafella. I'm Steve, and I'm here to talk about everything Doctor Who. Welcome back. We have, of course, this week got some more Dalek build for you. I've got 2 issues of that I'm going to be going through. We'll come to that in a little bit. We've also got a very exciting parcel to unpack. It's something I've been looking forward to for a long time, well, since it was announced. I'm going to go through that with you and unpack it on camera so you can share the excitement, or some of it at least. Very much looking forward to that. We'll get to that very shortly. Before we start all that, however, I thought I'd do a little update on what we do know about the upcoming imminent season 2 of Doctor Who. Before we kick off, what I will say is that I tend not to get involved too much with speculation and rumours. There's plenty of opinions out there about what's good and bad, about what might happen. Some people have seen spoilers, and I'm not into spoilers either. Apart from the official trailers and the official announcements, I tend to steer clear of everything else, just because I really enjoy the show and I really enjoy the surprise when I get to each new episode. I like the surprise. For me, that's half the fun, is the surprise of the adventure and what's new. Who's next? What's next? What have we got to run away from now? I love all of that. So I'm not going to go into any rumours or speculation from the internet. What I will do is just quickly summarise. It is, of course, Ncuti Gatwa's 2nd season as the Doctor. I'm excited to see him come back. I think he's brought an enormous amount to the show and to the character of the Doctor. Some people might not agree with me, and that's fine. That's what Doctor Who is about. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. I think he's brought some real charm to the Doctor and a real cheekiness, and I quite like that. He will be joined by returning Millie Gibson as Ruby Sunday, the companion from season 1. We don't know how much we're going to see of Ruby, but what we do know is that she will be joining Ncuti and new companion Virada Sethu playing Belinda Chandra. Belinda bearing more than a slight resemblance to the character Mundy Flynn from season 1's Boom, being of course played by Virada herself. I'm sure that will come up in the show, and I'm sure that will be explained maybe later. In the meantime, we have also been told the episode titles for season 2. I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you and quickly go through them. Let's take a look. So, first up, we have got The Robot Revolution, written by Russell T Davies, as are a lot of the episodes from this series. Second place, we've got Lux, again written by Russell T. This is the episode we believe will be starring Mr. Ring-a-Ding, set in the 1950s, starring Alan Cumming as the guest voice. Looking forward to that one. Third up, we've got The Well, written by Russell T yet again. Fourth, we've got Lucky Day, written by Pete McTee, and again a writer who's got a bit of history with Doctor Who. Looking forward to seeing what that brings. Fifth up, The Story and the Engine, very interesting title, written by Inua Elams. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sixth up, we've got The Interstellar Song Contest, written by Juno Dawson. This episode we know will be starring Rylan as the host of the Interstellar Song Contest itself. That's going to be an interesting episode. 7th place, we have Wish World. We're back to the Russell T Davies written episodes. I would imagine, going from past experience, that this is the build-up to episode 8, The Reality War. I always like a title with reality in it, I have to say. It usually doesn't bode well for reality in the Hooniverse. I think you'd probably agree. Very excited by some of those titles. Can't wait to see them. There's only little clips from the trailers. I've seen all the official trailers I have seen. I'm very excited by them. Again, I try not to connect too many dots. I just like to see the action, see roughly what's coming, and be excited for the new adventures that are about to come our way. Very excited for all of that. Season 2 landing on iPlayer and Disney Plus on Saturday, April the 12th. We've got less than 2 weeks. It's butterflies time. That's all I'm saying, butterflies time. I hope you're all looking forward to it, even half as much as I am, because that's quite a lot. Moving on this week, let's get stuck in to a bit of unboxing and a parcel I've been very much looking forward to. Let's take a look. So just before I get going, this is my new setup. Maybe temporary, but it's a new setup. We like change. Doctor Who is all about change. That's why we like it. So, let's get to it. One box. I am in no way sponsored by this company, although I would very much like to be, maybe one day. In the meantime, let's get to it. Let's unwrap. Here we go. Oh yes. This is what I've been waiting for. This is the new Vortex Edition 3rd Doctor figure with accessories and screwdriver. Excellent. I can't wait to get into this. Let's get to it. I am not a box keeper, but this is all the information you would have on the back. Hey, now I'm filming it, I have a memento. Excellent. No, all jokes aside, sometimes I keep the boxes if they're particularly good. This one, I mean, it's got a bit of information about what's in the set and a little bit of information about the 3rd Doctor. To be fair, it's probably nothing I don't already know. But it's very nice. It's a very nice set. I do like the edge here, to be fair. It looks quite snazzy. This is the new range of boxes that Character Options are using for the Vortex Edition. It is very nice to look at. Let's get to it. Let's find out what's inside. Let's see what we're doing. Oh yes. Look at this. Excellent. Excellent. So, for me, this is the real deal. This is what the Vortex Edition is all about for me. I like the screwdriver. I like the accessories, which we will get to in a moment. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring them. But here we are. This is the 3rd Doctor Vortex Edition. As you can see, this is an excellent quality head mould. Looks very much like a young John Pertwee, I have to say. I'm liking the cravat. The detail on the coat is very nice. Loving the cape. Excellent to see a cape on the 3rd Doctor. Love it. Is in fact a nice red suit underneath, which of course we saw with Dino Watton recently in his interview. The cape does of course come off, as you can see. If I were to defrock the Third Doctor slightly. You can, of course, have him without the cape. I have to say, I like the gloves. I like the shoes. I think he's a brilliant figure. I really do like that face. The new head sculpt is uncanny Jon Pertwee. That's just fabulous. Brilliant stuff. And of course the ultimate test. He does stand up. Excellent. We'll pop his jacket on again shortly. In the meantime, let's pop these out of the way. Let's bring back in the extras. We have, of course, a maggot. That's right, a giant maggot from the Green Death. I've got the one they call the ankle biter, because he's pretty much lying flat on his belly. It's a lovely little addition. Here will go with my other three up on the shelf. We also have, underneath this tape, pop that to one side, we have the crystal, the Kronos crystal, from the story The Time Monster. It's Jon Pertwee's third season, series 9 as it were. Occasionally focused, lovely stuff. Great little accessory to go alongside the maggot. And last but not least, we have this beauty. This is, of course, the electroplated replica of the Third Doctor's sonic screwdriver. It's a cracker. Updated colours, updated detail, and most importantly, updated sound effects. Excellent. Hours of fun annoying the cat with this beauty. It's exceptionally shiny, which is a nice upgrade from the previous model. A darker red head at the top there. This is a cracker for the collection. And in fact, let's bring in the collection and have a wee little look, shall we? And here we go. This is my delightful collection of sonic screwdrivers and the occasional fob watch as well, and a gorgeous plant pot designed by my good friends for such an occasion, if not plants. I tend to kill plants off. These are a bit easier to look after. So, if we take the previous edition there and have a little compare and contrast, as you can see, a bit more detail, much shinier, a bit more fitting, I feel. And of course, the size comparison, pretty much bang on the same size, just a little bit more detail and much nicer finish to it. So, there we go. The screwdriver. The Third Doctor. Removable cape. Ankle biter maggot. And Kronos crystal. A beautiful set. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to bring in an old Jon Pertwee figure. So, this is one of my personal favourites. This is the old head mould. Bit of an older John Pertwee. So a little compare and contrast again. It's funny, they're both very John Pertwee. Yeah, maybe one just a little bit older than the other. I like them very much. Both of them, to be fair. And I will be very happy to see both of them in my collection. But yes, it is very nice to see, finally, he has a removable cape. Nice and purple on the inside as well. Nice and shiny. I always like the shiny ones. So there we go. That is the unboxing. This will join the rest of my screwdrivers in my little collection pot. And once I've popped the jacket back on, he will pop straight onto my shelf. Maybe to replace one of the other Johns. I like having a couple spare, just so that I can swap them around every now and then. And if you bear with me, I'll show you where he ends up. So here we go. This is the collection. As you can see, we've got most of the Doctors and most of the companions down on the lower shelf here. Some of the bad guys as well. Up on the next shelf, mostly bad guys. Mostly the enemies of the Doctor, and of course, the Daleks themselves, and Davros. Just a little sneak peek. You head over here. A special homemade TARDIS hidden at the back as a bit of an Easter egg. There's a few more Easter eggs in here. You see if you can spot them and let me know why they're Easter eggs. Why they're the odd ones out from my collections. All the Daleks along the back. It's first Doctor there. And as we go up, here we are. All the Doctors with their TARDISes. Well, I say all. Of course, there's never quite room for all of them. But there we go. And if we scoot right back here, here is the new boy in front of his very light blue TARDIS with his Kronos crystal. Excellent stuff. I think he fits in rather well, don't you? Hello, and welcome back to the much anticipated, much talked about Dalek build. Here's how we're getting on so far. As you can see, the headpiece is coming along rather nicely. The eye stalk isn't yet fixed in place, but it's certainly sat in the right position. The energy diffusers, both locked in place. As I mentioned last week, I cheated a little bit and took the parts from this week's issue, just so that I could get both of these lovely energy dispensers onto the head. Let's take a look at what we've got this week. And here we go. This is issue 8 of the Dalek build. If we move the box to one side for a second, as you can see, the usual description of the parts we're going to use. These three here are the screws I pinched for last week's build, so we won't be doing that section, but we will be fixing this panel onto the side. Usual story inside. Some more fantastic artwork on the inside cover. Really loving those at the moment. They're brilliant. And then a quick list of what's in this week's issue. Excellent stuff. Turning to the back, as you can see, some instructions on how to fit the panel for this week. Pop that to one side. and I'll give you the full experience. So this is how we look when we arrive. We've got the little packets of screws, nicely labelled, and then each panel piece is nicely packaged in one of these bags for extra protection. And there we go. Nice shiny piece, ready to go on. And we've got the screws, and of course the trusty free screwdriver to make sure we can get all those parts in. Excellent stuff. And as if by magic, this is issue 9 as well. Again, we've got the box with the parts, little instruction on the front. This week, some more gorgeous artwork and a list of this week's contents, mostly about the comic adventures of the Daleks. Looking forward to that. And of course at the end we've got our instructions, which we will go through very shortly. Good stuff. And once again, even better, the full experience. Spare bit of cardboard. This is the nice little packet with the screws in. Get into focus there. Packet for the screws. Put to one side. And a nice, very well wrapped, I must say, back piece. And there we go. Pop that out of the way for you as well. Lovely stuff. Looks in very good condition. Excellent. And of course, this is the other bag of screws that I didn't pick out of the box just a second ago. Excellent. So here we go. These are the parts. We've got issue 8 on the side here and issue 9 just here. We've got some little washers, which I will get to in just a moment. 5 screws for the 1 spare as normal, and 4 screws for this panel over here. Probably a spare for that as well. Let's bring in the head and get going. Just before I bring in the head, first things first, let's bring in these. These are some of the smallest washers I have ever seen. Very awkward by the looks of things, especially with my chunky fingers. But I'll show you where they go, and we'll have a little pop and see what we can do. So here we have the head, as seen earlier on. If we turn this over, the washers that I have just shown you go in here, underneath this panel here. So what I'm going to have to do, and of course the same for this panel over here. So what I'm going to have to do is unscrew these 2 screws and these 2 screws, pop 2 washers on the top of each of the holes, so 8 washers in total, and then put this piece back on top and try and get the screw back in. Sounds simple enough, but I have read a lot online about these little washers. This is going to be an interesting journey, I think. So, undoing should be simple enough. This is going well. 2. Let's take this one piece at a time, shall we? Okay. Here we are. They really are tiny. This is going to be interesting. Take 3. We've got 2 on. This is good. 1 at a time then. I can see why people were talking about this. Is this really going to improve the build sufficiently for the hassle? There's only one way to find out. Okay, 2 balanced. Let's see if we can do this. So bring this part back in. And the aim is to try and get this on without knocking the washers out of place. Bring in the screw. Bring in the screwdriver. Let's try this top one instead. That's caught straight away. Second screw. Guide it in. Yes. Excellent. So, I'm assuming the aim of this is to increase this gap at the back. I'm assuming that will result in a better fit for the other parts. Only time will tell. Take the screw out. Pop that off. 4 more washers to go. 1 in here. 1 in here. 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 Very carefully. Already knocks it. See this? I can see why people are complaining about this. This is not annoying at all. So, very carefully, without knocking the washers. Two. Ta-da! That really wasn't all that bad, I have to say. So there we go. Again, I'm assuming the aim is to increase that gap along the back here. But yeah, only time will tell, I suppose, if it'll make a difference. I assume it will. So, with that done, let's move on to the next piece. So, moving on to the side panel then. This one here. And again, as you can see, we've got the ridges on the inside there, and the 3 little markers. It should all slot into these holes and grooves here. So let's give that a go and see if it's quite as easy as the last lot. There we go. Oh, there we go. You can definitely feel when it reaches the right point. So we will turn it over. As you can see, those grooves line up nicely, and they will stay in place once the screws are in place. You can see the prongs coming through the top there, just as they are on the other side with the previous ones. And we're going to screw in here, here, and down here. Let's pop this in here to start with. Let's see if we can hold it in place. And I do like it when they're this easy, he says, knowing full well. And there we go. 3 more screws in place. Flip her back up. And there we go. Nice and symmetrical again. Shall we move on to issue 9? Back panel. I think we can tell where this one's going to go. It's a very nice big piece. This is going to be satisfying. And we are, of course, moving on to the back of the head. Again, usual story. Slots, holes, grooves, ridges, all the screw holes. Same story, guys. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is going to be very satisfying. And as you can see, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws to put in place. Then we bring in the screwdriver. Lovely. And there we go. An almost complete outer shell. Ooh, that really is weighing something now. This is lovely. Just the top piece to go for the outer layer by the looks of things. This is gonna be gorgeous. Look at that. What a beauty. So there we go. That is issue 8 and 9 of Hachette Partworks Build Your Own Dalek. Next week, issue number 10, I would imagine, is going to be this bit here. And I believe there's a little bit of working for the inside of the eye stalk to keep it in place. So that'll come in very nice and handy. Oh, and just before I go, time to get the latest issues in the binder. One, two, 1, 2. Excellent. And there we go. Here she is again. I think you'll agree. She's looking rather good. It weighs a fair bit. It's only going to get heavier and bigger, but I'm looking forward to it. Great stuff. And of course, a new figure added to the vast collection behind me. I'm very pleased with that figure. I think the head sculpt is marvellous. I really like the outfit, and the extras are a nice little bonus. I do like the extras on these figures. So yeah, very happy with all of that. Very excited to see the top of the Dalek's head being finally finished off. That will come, of course, in next week's issue. In the meantime, cross your fingers and hope that the next lot gets sent out on time this coming week. And then we should have plenty to keep us going. Can't wait to see what's up next. It's only going to get better, that build, and I'm very excited by it. I could do with a few more tools, probably. I'm assuming there's a bit more complexity coming up, considering the amount of things that we're expecting it to do by the time we've finished. But there we go. That is yet another week over and done with. Thank you very much for joining me once again. I really appreciate your support. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on the Facebook page, give me likes, give me subscriptions, the lot. You know the deal by now. It's all very much appreciated. And I will, of course, see you next week for another issue. And who knows what else could come our way in the meantime. More news, more surprises. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff on the way if I know Russell T Davies at all. In the meantime, take care and have a great week. See you next time.